No.
Here we get white pieces against Feed the Master. Gonna go d4. Gonna play bishop to f4 against knight f6 and then knight f3. c5 e3. Important play knight d2, not c3 in this position. And on queen b6 we take the pawn. On bishop f5 as well we take the pawn. On bishop g4 we play c3. Against e6 we play same c3. Bishop d6, bishop g3. Okay, so he takes and goes knight h5, I'm assuming. And yeah, like I've recently looked this one up. I think we're just gonna play bishop d3 and then knight e5, knight d3. I think I'm going towards this option of playing as white. I think it's kind of easy to play. I'm thinking to like recommend this in my chessable course. The other one was to just play instead of knight e5, bishop d3, which is also very simple, but to me it feels like playing this structure. I mean, if you know the plans, yeah, white is just doing very well. Okay, just gonna go f4 so I can meet knight f5 with bishop f2. It's like very complex, definitely, but I feel like it's a bit easier to play as white. Just gonna keep bishop to f2, then cancelling. What I really like in this structure is the knight on d3. I think it's doing a great role in controlling center. You can just castle. If I have g4, like eventually we could break with that. I'm not sure when I want to like put my queen, because ideally this rook will come into like e1. I guess I could play queen b3, just try to go for the endgames. Let's see if he takes. Because if he doesn't take, I mean, taking on b6 is an idea to double his pawns. Like this. And okay, this time we'll need to watch out for bishop to b5. I'm gonna play like rook e1. Need to be careful because this is an idea. Do we actually play a4? Maybe a4 is like a good move, but I'm like a bit afraid of it because it might be a bit weakening. I'm gonna go rook e1, I think that's the move, and then like bishop b5, we decide. That's not like the most professional approach, but maybe I just play bishop f1 in that scenario. I feel like this endgame should be very pleasant to play. Like g4, for example. Now I have an idea to play g5 and then use the e5 square, so I think we're gonna do that. Play knight e5. Stay knight e5, I'd be glad to have the bishops. And yeah, I think we're gonna use this idea to get rid of the annoying knight. And then his dark squares are kind of weak. So yeah, even though there are opposite colored bishops on the board, now we just play a3 and he's got a long-term weakness. So as I was saying, even though there are like opposite colored bishops on the board, I feel like we should be pushing because of the weakened dark squares. So he's gonna land the knight to like c4 and we'll probably have to take it. Is there any way to avoid that? So like this knight c4 we take on f5 and then yeah, I think that's kind of the way to go. It's not much, but could definitely play this for a while. Could also just go bishop g3 now that I'm thinking about it, because I don't think it's great for him to take it. So maybe there was no need to play bishop h3 in the first place, but I mean, it's not like the worst move ever. And yeah, I'm really liking my position now. We can take like at any time, but I'll keep the bishops for now. Okay, I'm just gonna go there and king g2, sidestepping that file. Or maybe just go king e2. Okay, rook e2, defending the pawn. How do we do this? Just rook there. Okay, he's not threatening anything. As far as I can see. Just gonna push. And he does end up taking with a bishop, not allowing king there. And now I feel like king could play an important role in the attack. And just gonna play this move to defend the b2 pawn. on rook b6. King coming to like g4. King plays a major role in these scenarios. Okay, maybe go there. Take the pawn. Yeah, it does seem completely winning now. Wait, just bishop takes? And we do end up getting the checkmate. Okay, I think that was actually a pretty nice positional grind. I'm not sure about the quality of it overall, but first of all, I think we've got a super interesting opening because he went for a pretty hot theoretical debate because he took and then went knight h5 combined with bishop to d6. So I'm still kind of debating which one line to go for, but yeah, I think knight e5 will be the main recommendation of my upcoming course. Like bishop d3 is the other thing that I had in mind. Also Levan played this a couple of times, and then with like g3, and depending on where they go to like d6 or h6, he has a game I believe where he delays castling. He plays like knight f1, knight e3. He's not really giving an advantage, but the positions are like quite interesting. But I also recently stumbled across this variation where you get the knight to d3 and it just feels like easier to play for white. And yeah, okay, apparently we can start bishop to g2. I was just not sure about this. Okay, on like knight f5 we have bishop to f4. f4 though is another like typical idea. Not sure he had to play knight f5 in hindsight, because bishop f2 is like a useful move and knight f5 not sure it is, and it just helps me get like g4 in later. So I play queen b3. I'm definitely not forced to. Like, yeah, remember that the pawn is actually defended by the knight. It's just that I wasn't sure where to place my queen in the structure. As I was saying, like I really wanted my rook to sit on e1. And I felt like getting into the endgames would be kind of the ideal scenario if he takes it. It just looked very pleasant. Like you can play b4, e1, g4, expand on both sides. Went knight a5 though, which I was kind of expecting. Went for the trade because I feel like these pawns are quite weak generally. And then it was just I felt like a slightly better endgame. Apparently he had the good chance of going bishop b5. Because if I go bishop to f1, oh, he's got this idea that I missed, like this tactical trick in the game. That was in fact close to winning for black, yeah. But after he takes, I think I'm like solidly better. And one thing that I had to realize during the game, so like first of all, you never allow b4. I think a3 is like a very nice move to play generally, stopping black's pawns. And then I thought I should, you know, trade the knight first so I can actually get the e5 square for the bishop. But then I realized, you know what, I can play bishop g3 immediately, because if they take, we get rid of the annoying knight and we get long-term pressure on this pawn. And yeah, I mean, perhaps it's like a defendable position for black with this idea, keeping an eye on the pawn and defending that weakness, but still white, I feel like it's pushing. And in the game, once I got the bishop to like e5, it was pretty nice. Here, yeah, like I wasn't sure what to do if he would have gone like king g8, because he's got this threat, and if I go king g2, I thought he can check. And like if I go king g3, he wants to check, because my idea was to support the king with a pawn. But maybe we can just take here, and we're still like pressing with like h4, h5. Kind of hard to win, I would say, but maybe just play king h1 and try to play that position with the two bishops. So he went rook b3. I went rook h1 with like the same idea to just push the h pawn. And his plan was to get this move, but I'm in time to defend. And after taking, apparently computer likes this better, but I wasn't sure how do we deal with king g6. Ooh, apparently there's like a kind of a mating net. After takes, yeah, it's just this. And pawn takes rook h6 is winning. everything is dropping, and if he takes, we actually just end up mating him. And took with a bishop though, which is still very fine. I've missed a nice motif here, by the way, was bishop to g6. And then it's kind of mating again. Just this, and it's mating. This is beautiful. I went rook h2 though, and then king f4. As I was saying, like, this is usually a typical idea to try to like infiltrate. There are obviously a lot of ways you can play this position. It's just that I had not that much time to think, and it felt natural to bring the king. And then yeah, I mean, he was just kind of collapsing. At this point, he's just losing material. There's no square for the knight, and yeah, if he goes knight g7, let's say, we can simply play rook e7 and winning a lot of material. So after knight takes, rest was just simple. So yeah, I think that was a pretty nice and sort of risk-free game, and yeah, quite a trademark for the London system in general, I would say. You're facing a 24-13, gonna go d4, and against knight f6 we're playing bishop to f4. If they go c5, we just go e3, trying to get back into the normal lines. If they play queen b6 for the Egan Mater anti-London, we just play knight c3. Knight c3 is like the universal answer whenever they play queen b6, and yeah, now it just looks like we're getting back into the Caro-Kann positions. Gonna play c3, and now I think queen b3 is a pretty good move, with the idea that on bishop f3 we have queen b7 winning. So they have to play like queen d7. Oh, he does go for that, but I think there's a big mistake as of queen b7, yeah. Do we take or do we play bishop b5? I think bishop b5 might be even stronger. Like bishop b5, he plays queen d7, I'm assuming. I don't know, I think taking on f3 is still fine though. Then this idea, actually. Wow. Perhaps I had it on the previous move too. And I think, ooh, this looks very, very iffy. Like bishop b5? Ooh, he just resigned? But why did he resign? I'm missing the mate, guys. Why did he resign? There's like a very obvious mate that I'm missing. I mean, I can go this check, but he's got knight d7 now. How do we win there? Obviously the position is winning, but how do we do this? Let's actually check it. I'm not sure how we were actually supposed to win that. So like queen b3, thing on f3 is like a pretty big mistake, as I was saying, and then bishop h6, but still, like, how do we win? It's apparently not like an obvious win, but he was just kind of disgusted with his position, I guess. I mean, could take that one, for example, and it's kind of over. We're winning the exchange as well. We're like up plenty of pawns. So yeah, it's just that he's supposed to, on queen b3, just play queen d7 or queen c8. I think queen c8 is best, and we just transpose to like normal lines. Bishop d3, bishop e7, and then wait, yeah, we just transpose to the Caro-Kann. I mean, I have a lot of videos in these positions on my YouTube channel, so yeah, just a typical play from here. Well, let's go again. Gonna go d4. And against knight f6, bishop f4. Knight f3. Against e6, just gonna be playing e3. Plays d5, and it looks like we're getting back into like the Queen's Gambit decline lines. And usually, as a rule of thumb, I like playing rook b1 against these ideas of going queen b6 when I can. And on knight c6, I remember looking up some interesting lines like taking on c5. I just need to somehow remember them. I think it started with like c3. And then, so they've got like this ideas. Okay, we're gonna play there. Okay, and on knight h5 I wanted dc and b4, b5, bishop b5 or something. That's castle. Can we just play the typical 95 now? I'm wondering. Okay, just gonna go for it. Plays h6. feels quite... I feel, you know, quite skeptical about this. Taking with a d pawn always. And I have a feeling we can actually just take immediately. Then go queen h5. Maybe I gave knight e5. Missed knight e5, yeah. Should have played queen g4. Okay, he missed it too. Okay, I mean, now I think I should be sort of winning. But he had knight e5, I feel like. That's why I believe in this position it's just best to play. Can he like survive this? Queen check? It's like rook h3, he clearly wants rook h8. And he wants to run away. But rook f3, yeah, no, it's not not saving. I have rook f3 there. Hitting f7 and I take en passant and play queen there. And I think we have a crashing attack. Maybe he's got knight e5 trying to survive, but it looks very bad. I think he'll try f5, but... Okay, he's going knight e5. And now... Do you play queen g3, queen g6, or what? That seems to be the way. Wait, rook takes on f6 next. Okay, he has e5. He finds it, but maybe knight e4 and bishop c4. Wow. And then bishop e6, rook f6, maybe it works. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just hoping to get some brilliancy price here. I don't know if this actually ever works, but... Looks like bishop e6 is only move. Can play queen e6 as well, but I kind of doubt that we can survive there. I think bishop e6 is like only try, but seems losing. Yeah, to rook f6. Bishop takes, queen takes. And then I can pick up the rook with check, at the very least. On king e8, I mean. Also bishop e6. Rook h7, queen g6. Should like win somehow, but I mean... I guess we're keeping it simple. Do we give a check though? It's like king give check, king e8. No, I think we're just taking the exchange now. Let's give a check first. And then I think on king e8, rook d1 might be winning. This is clearly losing to rook d1. Yeah. What's like easiest? Just take. Gonna bring the queen around, queen d6. Alright, I think that was a nice win. I don't know whether game was any good or not. It ended up working though. First of all, let's actually talk about the opening. He went queen b6, I think I have rook b1 in my notes. So, I think c3 is fine, and I was just about to do knight h5 dc, I think that's important. And then we go b4, b5, hitting the knight. They can't take because they lose the piece. And they need to move this, but then bishop e5 is saving the bishop, and white is just crashing now, I think. He went bishop e7, and to me it felt like king just get back to the normal lines. The knight e5. He went h6, which was kind of odd. h4 looks good for me. And then... yeah, perhaps this was more accurate with this idea. And same plan. But I wanted to go for it, but he could have taken on e5 with a knight, as I was saying, and he was completely winning. That is what I've missed in the first place. Because after taking... pretty sure I was winning. Okay, apparently it's precise to start this way. And then this. And then rook h8, rook f3, and we transpose to what happened in the game. So I was actually a bit inaccurate. because he could have taken on e5, and then the idea was that he can play queen d6 or something to make my attack slower. But after rook h3, rook f3, he tried like best defense, I felt like. And queen g6, e5. Okay, I had like an easy win with rook g3. But felt like knight e4 is nice. He should have tried f5, I knew that. Because after bishop c4, yeah, obviously I'm threatening to mate here, and this is just losing to rook takes on f6, and then yeah, I felt this was precise, and on king 8 I think maybe we had rook d1 move. I think I would have played that with the idea that if he takes, okay, I wasn't sure, but I was considering this move. But obviously, like, there's nothing wrong with taking the rook, I believe. Or also, yeah, checking, and if king e8, yeah, we can actually do it this way and just win the free rook without even allowing him to take on c4, winning the exchange. So yeah, then, I mean, opponent just, oh, I missed mate in 3. Ooh, rook d6 would have been such a nice shot to finish the game. Well, I mean, I was just gonna collect opponent c5 with a win, so that also kind of does it, I guess. So that was a very nice game. Expect that I was completely losing if he would have not taken on h6 and would have played knight takes on e5. But okay, you've got to risk it for the brilliancy, right? So we got rewarded in this case, though. Playing a national mouse, I'm gonna go d4, try to get in some yeah, interesting London system games. Gonna go bishop f4, and then c5 we play e3, trying to get back into the normal lines. Gonna play knight f3. Now knight b to d2. Knight e6 just gonna play c3. Bishop d6, bishop g3. Castle just bishop to d3. On b6 we go e4, and on other moves knight e5 generally. Okay, let's see if he knows how to deal with this. I think he's supposed to play bishop to e7. Yeah, he finds it, and then knight h5. We play knight g5. That is like the theory, and wait, how is that line going? I believe it's knight h7. Yeah, it's actually, this is not as bad for black. I remember one game I played queen g4, try to hang on to the pawn, but perhaps we don't actually need to hang on to that pawn. I actually don't remember, but okay. I'm just gonna play queen g4 anyways. Like, if this is the mistake that I'm gonna do for like second time, fine. Yeah, he goes there. Bishop to b1. Can we just play a3, knight e3, just take that? I mean, he gets compensation, but we're up a pawn still. I think we just go a3 now. a3, and if he goes rook c8, we have bishop g6, I believe. Yeah, h4 is an idea, but I had other business to deal with on the queen side. So, yeah. Could go h4 for sure, but I'd like to try to get rid of this bishop first, because it's kind of annoying. Also, I'd like to castle sometime. Yeah, maybe now it's actually time to go for that, since I can't really castle. Also, he's got an idea like this. Perhaps castling long is not so stupid. Just playing king b1. I think I like that idea. Trying to get some coordination for my pieces. Also need to like really speed up because I've got no time basically. And also this is kind of running into h4, h5. Not sure I like his move. Because taking will definitely speed up my attack, and I think can even trade now. He can get bishop d3, but I'm just gonna play king e1. Just gonna take and then maybe just defend. Yeah, just defending the pawn. We can just use the c-file. We don't need to go for the mate. Gonna take on c8, play rook c1. On this, we just play queen e3. His rook is actually close to getting tapped on f5. Like, g4 is a threat. He should probably needs to just go back rook h5, yeah? Okay, so against this, do I go g4? Rook f4? Take, queen takes. Okay, that doesn't seem to work. But I'll just take and play f4, I guess. And then queen f3, idea to play g4. I think just f5 makes sense. Idea to take and then play rook c7. Gave him the check, but I can just play king e1, I believe. Also, queen g5 is a threat. Yeah, we'll go for the check. And how do we actually mate him? I mean, queen f6 looks fine. And we get a mate. Okay, that was pretty good. I think it was actually decently played game. Yeah, I don't know. Like as I was saying, I've been actually running into this move previously. I mean this g6 move, which seemingly looks like a blunder, right? Because we take and take on h5. But the position is actually not so simple to win. So yeah, I have some analysis from here. I guess it's very logical to just keep the pawn defended. Computer seems to agree. But okay, apparently the idea is to actually take it if they take, yeah? I mean, I knew something. Like, I knew I'm supposed to do something that is not that typical, and that was h4 here. And even if they take, I mean, they're not in time to deal with this h5 threat apparently. So what I did in the game was the mistake that I did previously as well, and now black is just better after knight b4, yeah? Important to go a3, because if you play h4, I mean, you're just dead lost after rook c8, I believe, yeah? Rook is infiltrating, you have like no moves. And after a3, there is still this idea of playing rook c8, because if we take the knight, there will be rook c1, just winning. But on rook c8, we have... I thought we had bishop g6, but apparently it's still losing. I thought this is actually winning, but it's apparently losing. So, yeah, I mean, we're up like 2 pawns, but king is so bad in the middle of the board. When knight d3, yeah, so apparently like after a3, rook ca, best move would have been to just go queen d1, controlling this square, and play this position that is apparently 0, like pure repetition. Wow, okay. I knew I'm doing something wrong. Luckily my opponent did not punish me for it. He went knight d3, and then after queen f3 I've castled, which looked fine, but looks like he can just go quick b5 b4 and get the initiative, which he did not, and all of a sudden I'm just up a pawn and I have free attack on the king side. And then the rest seemed pretty straightforward to me. Might not have been. Yeah, I should have gone knight f3 obviously instead of that. Okay, I think he's doomed here. And also I think queen f6 was pretty clean. Because even if he goes for like the better defense of going king h8, then there's this idea of rook coming in with mate, yeah. So that was pretty good, I think. Gonna go d4. And then bishop to f4. Gonna be playing e3, c5, knight f3. Just getting the knight out, yeah. b6 and then h3, c3, bishop d3. We're just getting back to the queen's Indian. Yeah, we're playing the normal lines, we're not playing the Garakamsky one here. A4. Rook E1, Rook E8, Knight C4, Knight E3. Pretty standard so far. Bishop goes to like H2, Knight D2. And now I guess we just go B4. Okay, he plays B5, but I think he's got a weakness long term. Like AB, Knight B3. Could also start Knight B3. I think this. Could also take on A8 first. Just gonna play like Knight B3. Maybe it made sense to start Queen E2, I don't know. So we can take that. He takes with a bishop. Can play maybe Knight C5. He's got like what, like Queen B7. I can also just play Knight C5. Then he takes pawn on C3, so that's not good. Thinking about Queen D2 as a move. I think I like it. I don't know. Like maybe even take with a pawn there. That could be decent. Then the idea is to get like Knight to A5. Ideally I would have like the Queen to be on E2 and attack B5, but I have to take care of the pawn on C3. So just gonna be taking, then going Knight A5. I think we might be having a good version taking with a pawn. So he plays Knight F6, idea to take and then go Knight there. I'm assuming, so yeah, I think I go Knight Knight A5, and if Knight E3 take with a Queen, because I don't want to allow Knight E4 key, but this allows us to take now. I think he might have missed this. I don't see any tricks. Hitting the rook. Yeah, just rook B8, but I don't think he can get away with it, like trade and just bishop C4. Perhaps could go C4. Yeah, that's even better. I think it's better. I'm like not sure. Might be trapping my pieces there. Okay, I don't think this is a bad move. Just killing the bishop. Then we might bring this one back into the game like that. Hitting the pawn. Can we just go back, Knight B3? If D5, Knight C5. How am I like so slow? I really did my best of playing fast this game, but like opponent has such a big time advantage. I don't get it. Okay, just gonna go bishop back and push the pawn. Yeah, just trying to push my pawn. I'm just a guy with a pawn and with a dream. Let's go there. Yeah, maybe I should have pushed the pawn, but I mean anything wins here objectively, but... Oh, I missed that. Ah, no, I'm blundering everything. Queen e1 maybe next. The opponent is also slow. Okay, but I'm slower. No. I just can't do this. Oh, this is so annoying. This is so annoying. Oh, this is so annoying. It goes like that all the time. Yeah, I think move order was quite precise by both players. Again, if you want to play like the Gata lines, you can go bishop to d3, castle, castle, cd, d6, and then like rook e1, knight d7, and then bishop to h2. That is how Kamsky likes to play it, and I think I've covered it on the channel before. And then the idea is, let's say like rook e8, you want to be playing a5, and then c2, c4 directly. This is an interesting line, and I think I'll also add this to my chessable course. I already did some analysis on it. But for this game, I wanted to play like the normal stuff with opponent c3, and a really typical maneuver is like getting this knight towards e3, and bishop normally stays on h2. This knight comes into d2, and you just start queenside play with like b4. Perhaps queen e2 would have been a bit more precise now that I'm thinking about it, and then we could have done this. I think starting queen e2 would have been better, because now b5, it's even worse because of knight b3, and knight a5 is a bigger threat, because it's gonna win the bishop. So I think I rushed a bit with b4. The idea is, if obviously they don't do anything, you just go like c4 and just try to grab space on the queen side. I mean, even c5 is a threat, and white is just much better. There's like a very old game, I believe it was played by... I might be wrong, it could have been Bronstein, but there's like a super classical game, yeah, from this position, like something similar. The bishop was on g3 though, not on h2, but plans remain the same. He went b5 though, which was good. Now, I thought I should be slightly better, but I just got a worse version apparently. And he kind of gave me the b5 pawn for no reason, and then I was winning. Yeah, in this structure, by the way, you can usually play f3. It's a very nice move to shut down the bishop. I know they tell you to never play f3, but it's really killing the bishop in these lines. And yeah. Oh, I could have gone c5 here because he can't take my bishop because the other one will drop. That would have been way cleaner. Yeah, then it was like pretty inaccurate, but I guess winning no matter what. I just hang the pawn there, but just play queen c1, queen c7, and you win. So yeah, alright. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another one from the same series, or if you perhaps want something from the black pieces, then you can check out the French video. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you around on the channel. Take care.